Hello. So today I want to have a quick look at a USB soldering iron. So you can get these on eBay. They come at around, I think, probably $8 to $10. And what you get is a USB cable, small stand, a little bit of solder here, and the solder iron itself. So it's all plastic, it's got a small safety cap here. We got a capacitive button here. And if we take a look, we got some specifications here. So you can read that. So it says 5 volt, 8 watt. CE marking, yeah. It's probably not real. Anyway, of course I have a much better soldering iron, but it's kind of nice to have something where you can do soldering in slightly remote places. Let's say you have something set up, you're ready to test, you got all the wires hooked in, you got power supply, scope, meters, everything, and you just want to change a resistor or capacitor or something like that. Then it should come in pretty handy. So, but of course the whole point is, does it work or not? Because less than $10 is not a lot, and it really doesn't look that great. But if it works, it works. So I already tried it, and when I first tried it, I ran into a little bit of a problem because, well, we got this safety cap here, and if you look closer here, so you can see it looks like you have this kind of metal insert here. Take off the safety cap, so I thought that was the way to take it off, but if we do like this, it doesn't actually work. So I took it apart, I measured the element out here, and it measured open circuit, and then I noticed, well, actually there's no connection here between the tip and what it screws into here. So in reality, this safety cap has to be pulled off. It's quite tight, but do it like this and then it works. Okay, so let's try hook it up and see how it works. So I'm just going to use a USB battery supply here, and just a really cheap of these Charge Doctor voltage amp measurement devices there. I just hook it in, so I switch it on. Still not working. There we go. So you see, well, I probably already touched the capacitive button here, but you see there's a small red LED in here, and we can see it actually consumes 1.6 amps or something like that. 1.6, yeah. This is not 100% accurate, but ballpark it's good enough. And now it's actually hot already. It heats up pretty quickly. You can try to take some of this unknown solder here and see it's hot. Let's clean that off. So let's try have a look at what it can actually do. Okay, let's try have a look at how hot it gets. So it's heating up now, and I got, let's say that's, so 380 degrees I saw there. It's pretty hot. It's hard to get a good contact here. 90. So that's a little bit super hot, I would say. A little bit crazy. But of course, when you start soldering, then the thermal capacity of the tip is very low, so it won't stay that hot for very long. But it heats up very quickly. It only takes about 5-10 seconds or something. So let's try. I got some soldering braid or desoldering braid here, and let's see if it can actually heat that up. Oh yeah, no problem. So yeah, it's got decent thermal capacity. I wouldn't use it on something that requires something with a huge ground plane or anything like that, but normal through hole components, maybe a little bit of SMD work, something that's not too sensitive to temperature, I think it should do quite okay job. See that? So yeah, it actually works reasonably well. Of course, the 1.6 amp, well, switched off now. It will auto switch off after a few seconds, but the 1.6 amp, it draws, of course, puts some demand on the USB port you plug it into. Most newer laptops, etc., will not have a problem with it, but the specification USB says it should only be maximum 500 milliamps, so it might not be all USB ports going to work with this, but to get 8 watt out of a USB port, well, you do need to draw somewhere around 1.6 amp. So yeah, it doesn't look that confidence inspiring, but actually it works reasonably well, or it works surprisingly well. So let's try a few wires, see how that goes. Okay, so I got some thin wire and some slightly beefier wire here. Let's try see if we can tin these using this iron here. We'll just heat it up. See how that works out. Yeah, thin wire, absolutely no problems. Let's try the slightly thicker wire here. There's a lot more copper in here. See how that goes. Alright, switched off again. Oh, back on. Might not just need to heat up a little bit. No problems there either, so I would say that's actually pretty good, because there's really not much thermal capacity in this small tip. So, but the downside is that, well, we saw it went up to 380 plus degrees Celsius. This is a little bit too high. Normally, I would say around 300 is more, is better for regular soldering, but it works well. And it's not something you would use for many hours, but if you're in a tight spot and you need to solder something, then it's definitely usable. So that's it for this tiny little review of this soldering iron. I hope you enjoyed it, hope you found it useful, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.